So as Andy said, my name is Rachel. I am the curate here at St Mary's. And may I add my own welcome to all of you, especially to those who are visiting today. As Andy has already said, we're thinking today about celebration and gratitude. So first of all, has anyone had a birthday or an anniversary recently? Oh, how did you celebrate it? On the beach, nice. Anyone else had a birthday or an anniversary? Oh, Fionn, you had a birthday? How did you celebrate it? Shout a little bit louder. Went out for dinner. Anyone else? Yeah, go on. With the grandsons. Oh, how lovely. Anyone have a party for a recent birthday? Oh, do you not have parties for birthdays? Okay, fair enough. Has anyone else had anything else to celebrate, whether not just a birthday or an anniversary, but any other reason to celebrate? I think you've had a reason to celebrate, haven't you, Chrissy? Yeah, anyone else had anything to celebrate? Yes. A daughter's wedding. How nice. And yes.
My last child is a taxpayer.
Did you celebrate in any particular way? Excellent, very good. Brilliant. Does anybody celebrate because it's Friday and you've got to the end of the week? Yeah, I do. Every Friday it's like, okay, we made it. Celebration is part of life, isn't it? Is there anyone who's a sports fan? Wave at me, sports fan, because I know there are a few of you. Okay, so sports celebration is a very big part of sports. Football fans here. Wave at me. How do you celebrate if your team scores a goal? Show me. You cheer. Any Chelsea supporters? Okay, I am struggling this morning. Okay, how did you celebrate, Chelsea supporter, when you beat Liverpool yesterday?
I cheered.
Yeah, I bet you did. When Liverpool scored the equalising goal, I did dance around the living room. My response was slightly different a little bit later on. Anyway, less of talking about that. But we do. Celebration is part of everyday life, isn't it? And celebration and gratitude go hand in hand. If we're grateful for something, we will celebrate it. And if we celebrate something, we become more grateful for it. So celebration and gratitude are part of also the life of the church as well. So the church calendar is full of opportunities for us to celebrate. So we're gathered, aren't we, to celebrate the festival of harvest, and we show our gratitude for the good gifts that God has given us. We have Christmas. Don't know whether it's a little bit early to say Christmas. Phil's not here, so we can say Christmas, to be fair. But yeah, we have Christmas where we celebrate. We have Easter, where we give thanks for the death and the celebration of the resurrection of Christ. We have Pentecost, where we celebrate the birth of the church and we give thanks for her. Celebration and gratitude are not just things, though, that we do at festivals at church. They're actually part of everyday church life. The person who wrote the Psalms in the Bible encourages us to enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise, to sing for joy, to shout aloud in celebration, to make a joyful noise, and to give thanks. Whenever we come to church, we gather to sing songs of praise, we say thank you to God, we share testimonies, as we have done already, of the good things that God is doing in our lives. We pray for the needs of the world and we give thanks for prayer. And whenever we share Holy Communion together, it's a celebration of what Jesus has done for us in his death and resurrection and the new life that he offers. So celebration and being grateful are things that we do in everyday lives, with our family, with our friends, in church, in sports, and it's good to celebrate and to be grateful, isn't it? Did you know that there are medical studies that show that practicing celebration and gratitude are good for our health? Apparently, practicing gratitude reduces stress, it improves well-being and resilience. Gratitude is associated with better heart health and reduced blood pressure. Celebration, especially if we celebrate with other people, increases perceived social support, which is linked to better well-being, reduced anxiety and depression, and even a longer life. So it's good to celebrate and to be grateful. But it's even better to celebrate and be grateful to God, because when we do, we remind ourselves that it is God who gives us all good things. We remember that He is our provider. He is the one who pours out His blessings on us. When we celebrate and give thanks to God, we put Him in His rightful place. We put Him as sovereign, we put Him in charge, and we acknowledge that nothing good happens apart from Him. So finding things in our lives to be grateful for and to celebrate is something that we all do, and it's good for our emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The passage that Wendy read to us from Paul's letter to the church at Thessalonica is quite a tricky passage to get your head around. But right in the very middle of it, there are three verses, 16, 17, and 18. Paul writes about celebration and gratitude, and he gives three simple instructions. He says, rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in every circumstance. Why don't you say that with me so we can get this into our head, because I think it's very important. Here we go. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in every circumstance. Let's just say that one more time, just to make sure. Rejoice always. Pray continually, give thanks in every circumstance. Great. So in this passage, Paul is writing to the church, and he's giving them instructions of how to live in a way that's pleasing to God. He talks about holding leaders in high regard, working hard, being patient, doing good. And amongst these instructions, he says to rejoice, pray, and give thanks, because that is God's will for us. Now, we've already thought about how we celebrate on special occasions, at sporting events, during Christian festivals, and every week in church. But Paul takes it further. He says, rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in every circumstance. Always, continually, every. Paul is not urging his readers to give thanks for every situation, because as we know, things happen that are evil, that are wrong, that causes pain. He's urging us to find ways to celebrate and be grateful in every situation. So we're going to say these instructions again, but this time we are going to emphasize the word always, continually, and every. So let's say that together. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in every circumstance. As Andy has already said, over the course of the term, the grown-ups are thinking about things that we can be doing to bring us closer to Jesus and to get to know him better, and we've been calling them the spiritual practices. I think Paul is giving us some simple instructions of how to turn celebration and gratitude into a spiritual practice so that they become a way of life. I suppose it's fairly easy to celebrate and be grateful when things are going well. When it's our birthday, when our football team scores a goal, when we can think of loads of reasons to thank God. But birthdays come and go. Our sporting teams may have success one week, less success the next week. Sometimes life can be hard. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like there's a huge amount to be thankful for. Paul is instructing his readers to practice celebration and gratitude so that it becomes something that we do even when things aren't going well. But I wonder, how might we do this? How might it be possible for us to celebrate, to be grateful, and to find joy in every circumstance? Well, as we try to answer this conundrum, I'm going to ask you to have a very quick conversation with the person next to you, and I want you to tell them, what are the things that bring you joy? And then we're going to hear a few of them in a minute. So just have a little conversation. What are the things that make you smile? What are the things that make you happy? What are the things that lift your spirits? Have a little conversation about that. I am really cold. I don't know about you, but it's really cold.
Yeah.
I can jacket on. But anyway, what brings you joy?
Walking through the woods this morning with the dog, just just think, looking at it, there's no way this is just by chance.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, you can do. That would be great. Yeah. Okay, so let's hear some of these things. It's quite funny looking around and seeing you, and suddenly, like, you've all got smiles on your faces, and you're all talking about the things that bring you joy. So let's hear some of these things. Andy's going to come around with a microphone. So what are these things that bring you joy? Someone wave at me. There we go.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Pat?
Grandchildren and a gin and tonic.
In which order?
Chocolate.
I said cooking, and he said being cooked for.
Perfect.
Grandchildren and walking my dog.
I bet a few people said walking their dogs.
A good meal followed by an even better glass of wine.
Any more? Okay, well, I'm sure you've all had lots of conversations about the things that bring you joy. It's wonderful. Oh, one more.
Just getting out on my mountain bike as much as possible.
Yeah, getting out cycling. Yeah, outside. Brilliant. It's wonderful that so many things do bring us joy. And in our quest to rejoice always, to pray continually, and to give thanks in every circumstance, it is good for us to intentionally seek out those things that bring us joy. But as good as those things are, they are not the answer. These things may bring us joy for a short time. They might be good for a quick joy fix. But they're not the answer to how we can truly rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in every circumstance. There is only one source of true joy. There's only one source of the kind of joy that goes so deep that it stays with us through every circumstance, good and bad. And the source of that joy comes in the person of Jesus Christ. The title of our sermon series for this term is The God Who Can Be Known. It really is possible to know God in the person of Jesus. It's possible to meet Jesus, to encounter him, to get to know what he's like, to hear him speak to us, and to have him walking through life with us. Peter, one of Jesus' disciples, wrote a letter to the early church where we can read it in the New Testament. And he says, even though you have never seen Jesus, you love him. Even though you do not see him now with your natural eyes, you trust him. And because of that, you rejoice with a glorious and inexpressible joy. It's true. When you get to know Jesus and experience his love, his peace, and his very real presence, you begin to trust him and you're filled with joy. Jesus is the source of a true and lasting joy that enables us to rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in every circumstance. And it really is possible to pray continually to him because he's always with us. He walks with us through life. He really cares about the things that matter to us, and he wants to hear about them. The Bible is full of descriptions of what Jesus is like. The Lord is faithful. He keeps his promises of love. The Lord is the rock. His works are perfect. All his ways are just. He's compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He's great. He's mighty. He is wise. The Lord is close and personal, and the Lord saves those who are crushed in spirit. This is what Jesus is like. He's loving and faithful and just and steadfast and compassionate and gracious and slow to anger and great and mighty and powerful and wise and close and personal and so much more. And when we meet Jesus and encounter him, when we decide to put our trust in him completely, when we give the whole of our lives into his very safe pair of hands, his Spirit comes and lives in us and fills us with love and joy and peace, so that we can rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in every circumstance. So as we come into land, I'm just going to highlight 2 points from what I've been saying. Firstly, it's good for us to have an attitude of celebration and gratitude. It's very good to give thanks to God because it reminds us of the good gifts that come from him. And by doing so, we put him in his rightful place as sovereign and Lord over all things. So I wonder, are there things that you can be doing to cultivate a lifestyle of celebration and gratitude? Can you maybe start your day by giving thanks for God's provision? Can you end your day by looking back and noticing when God has been at work and give him thanks? If you're having a tough time, can you ask God to show you how he is at work and to show you the ways that you can give him thanks even in the midst of your troubles? How can you intentionally practice the spiritual discipline of celebration and gratitude every day? And my second point is simply asking the question, where do you go to find your source of joy? Have you met Jesus? Has he filled you with his joy? Of course, if the answer is no, it's not too late to join our Alpha course, which is happening on a Monday evening. And that's been designed to help us to discover Jesus for ourselves. And I think Andy's going to tell you a little bit more about that later. If not, come and speak to me or him. But it's good for all of us to regularly ask ourselves whether Jesus really is the source of our joy. Whether we can have the kind of joy that is unwavering, so that we're able to rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in every circumstance. It's good for us to bring ourselves back to meeting Jesus every day and receiving everything he has to offer to us as we continually surrender our lives into his very capable hands. We're going to respond with our next song. And in it, we're going to sing about the goodness of God. And we can use it as a prayer of thanksgiving. I'm very aware that there might be people here that just don't want to sing this song because it's not truthful right now. And that's absolutely fine. Please just listen to the music, take the time to reflect, maybe take the time to think. And I think what we'll do is actually we'll remain seated so that we can use this as a prayer. The chorus says, all my life you have been faithful. All my life you've been so good. And so if you're able to sing that, why don't we sing this together as a prayer? But we'll stay seated.